We are so excited to have everyone here. My name is Gabrielle Montalbano. I am Dave's campaign manager, and I will soon be his daughter-in-law, so I have the wonderful privilege of introducing Dave to you guys tonight. So Dave is a wonderful man, law enforcement officer, father, and I've been able to kind of see him in all of those different roles. Dave started his law enforcement career 24 years ago here in Genesee County by attending and graduating from the Rural Police Training Academy. He then moved on to work for police departments in Erie County, such as Blasdell PD and NFTA. Dave now lives in Genesee County and works for the Corfu Police Department and is a seasonal deputy with the Genesee County Sheriff's Office. Dave has an incredible amount of passion and drive to do what's right, to serve those, and to work for the betterment of himself, others, those he surrounds himself with. That same passion and drive are the qualities that are leading Dave to run for sheriff in Genesee County. Dave wants to make improvements to safety for the deputies, for the county as a whole, and he is confident in his abilities and his experience in the law enforcement community to be able to bring those positive changes. Dave not only has law enforcement experience, but he also has administrative experience serving on the as deputy town supervisor in the town of Darien. Dave fought for funding for local fire departments to ensure the concerns of the citizens were being met. Dave was really passionate about making sure that the people were getting what they needed and the communities were being supported with the funding and with the budget. Dave's combined experience with law enforcement and with his time on the Darien Town Board, his dedication and his drive make him the right choice for the Genesee County Sheriff's Office. And with no further ado, our candidate, David Krzemien.
Thank you, and thank you, Gabby. If you all would stand and join me with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just have to bear with me because I get a little emotional. Before we get started here today, Gabby did hit some points that I may repeat. I will go through that again. But the first thing I'd like to say is special thoughts and prayers go out to Judge Mattice and his family. His mother passed away this past week. If you keep him in his prayers. And also we have a couple deputies that are going through some tough times. If you could just keep them in their prayers also. I'm not going to mention any names with that. But we're going to get started. As Gabby said, let me introduce myself. My name is David Krzemien, and I'm running for Genesee County Sheriff. I have been a proud resident of Genesee County for more than 14 years. I've been in law enforcement for more than 24 years, starting right here in Genesee County. I attended Genesee Community College, Rural Police Training Institute, sponsored by Blasdell Police Department, where I worked for 13 years part-time. In conjunction with Blasdell, I was hired at the NFTA Police Department. It was an acronym for Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority for 20 years. My last 4 years as detective. While with the NFTA Police Department, which encompassed 3 counties, Erie, Niagara, and Genesee County just for a short time while our transportation went out to Darien Lake, transporting workers back and forth. Our duties were to work within the laws of every town and village. These responsibilities fell similar to the sheriff's office, but you multiply that by 3. As an NFTA police officer, also included 2 major airports, Buffalo Niagara International Airport and Niagara Falls International Airport. We also overseen the operations at the small boat harbor. The special units that were within my duties. I was a field training officer for 11 years. We had a responsibility to mentor those officers for several years after. It's kind of normal where an officer is really not seasoned until about 10 years on the job. and are seeing a lot of stuff more and more every day. I led the Counter Terrorism Unit for 7 years. A major part of that unit was networking, working with state, local, and federal agencies. Being in that unit, I also worked very close with the K-9 Division Explosive Unit. I was promoted to detective and was there for my last 4 years in my career. The detectives covered the same areas of jurisdiction as patrol. We worked very close with local DA's office, DEA task force, and the FBI Safe Streets task force. I also handled background investigations. In 2013, I was named Officer of the Year. I also received Chief's Award for Outstanding Leadership in years 2012 and 2017. Life-Saving Award in 2017, and 3 letters of appreciation. During my career, I was Union PBA President for 3 years and held Vice President positions for 4 more years. Successfully negotiated 2 solid contracts, assisted with policy changes within the department. After I retired, I was elected to the Town of Darien Board in 2018 as council member and appointed a deputy supervisor under Supervisors Dave Hagelberger, now Steve Ferry. I was hired in Corfu Police Department in 2018 and made a strong community connection. In 2019, I was hired as a seasonal deputy for Genesee County Sheriff's Office. I'll break the ice a little bit. Has anyone ever watched the NFL football draft? I'm sure we have. I have. Well, if I am team number 5 to pick this year, and when that pick comes around, I realize that the number 1 rated guy is left, and I was able to get him. I did. Chris Parker. That's my choice for Undersheriff. Chris Parker has worked for the Genesee County Sheriff's Office for over 20 years. His career span led him to road patrol, field training officer, and now investigator. Christopher's drive and consistency ensured his success within his department. The pride and dedication to excellence have not gone unnoticed over his career, as Christopher has won numerous awards. 2017, he was New York State Sheriff's Association Deputy of the Year, Distinguished Service Award, Merit Service Award ×2, Letter of Appreciation Award ×2, including Deputy of the Year in 2019. I did get that correct, right? Yes. Okay. I want to make sure. Chris and I have a lot of common goals. We want every division within the Sheriff's Office to feel that they are part of our success and that they're appreciated. We will work together on our path of direction and decision-making. We'll be 2 leaders that will have our hands-on approach, will be active part in every decision made in the Sheriff's Office. We want to interact with every police agency within and adjoining Genesee County. It makes us stronger. We have a direction to keep our road patrol deputies on the road, create and provide more tools to complete our jobs. Sheriff holds 2 hats. One is to oversee the operations of the Sheriff's Department and also has the responsibility to serve the community. Being a sheriff, I need to reach out to our nonprofit organizations. As a sheriff, we need to be a voice for the people. These are some of the issues that I stand behind and I believe. Bear with me, please. The issues are the right to bear arms. Every law-abiding citizen should be able to exercise the right without intervention and monitoring by the government. Protect the victims of domestic violence. As a sheriff's office, it is our duty to be a voice for those silenced by their circumstances. To protect the victims, to break down the cycle of domestic violence and create a safer community. Community policing created deep-rooted relationships with the community. Will break police stereotypes and build trust with the residents. Aiding those with mental illness. Those suffering from mental illness who commit crimes are not given proper treatment, and as a result, continue to commit crimes. Partnering with nonprofits will help those suffering get the help needed and restore order in their communities. Transparency. Being transparent in the sheriff's office leads goals and initiatives will help garner the trust of the citizens, allow the community and the police to work together to prevent and solve crimes. I skipped over one part, but I'm going to get to it now. It's bail reform, and I'm sure we've all heard about it. It's been in the paper and it's been on the news several times. As I stand here today, I will fight to repeal bail reform. We are in understanding that some changes needed to be made, but by not including members of law enforcement and the DA's office, this bail reform is causing our victims to be victimized again. Prior to the bail reform being passed, the Sheriff's Administration has had its office a program that has worked very effectively for years. And it should have been presented as a model to curtail some of these extensive and unworkable changes, and it's called Genesee Justice. Standing here today, it doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with. It's law enforcement. I respect each affiliation and will serve to protect all the people in our community. Please vote for Dave Krzemien, Genesee County Sheriff 2020, and thank you.